What is up, everybody? What is going on? This is Anthony with VR365. We are back. It is Monday. It is March 11th. And the time here in California, the time here, it is 11:21. So it is 11:21 a.m. I'm not early. I'm actually late. For those of you that like the show right at 11 a.m. on the clock here in Pacific West Coast time, I'm actually 21 minutes late. But we do have Paradise in chat saying that I'm early, and that is because there is a time change, folks. Yeah, there is a time change that is going on. It happened on Saturday at midnight, well, Sunday, Sunday at 12:01 a.m. in the morning, I guess, is exactly when it happened. And so, the whole daylight savings thing. So I guess England, the UK, I think you guys are about a week, like it takes you guys another week to change your time. So for about a week, the time's going to be a little bit off for those of you guys in the UK, but I'm sticking to West Coast, brah. West Coast till I die, brah. So I guess this show's going to be starting around like 10 or 11, 10 a.m., 10:15 a.m. UK time. I know it's not a.m. over there for you guys, but whatever it is, it's going to seem like it's early, but no, I'm looking at the clock. It says 11:22 a.m. right now, so that's kind of the way this is going to work. So yeah, we might be early for about a week. All right, well, what is the latest? I got to tell you, not a lot of exciting stuff is going on right now. Not a lot of major news that I've been able to see, but, we do have a couple of little stories to get into, and then we'll probably go ahead and check out the subreddits, and we'll also go ahead and check out some of the some of the VR gaming websites. We'll check some of that out as well. And Paradise says, Anthony is early and my premiere is about to start. Bummer. So what is this premiere thing? Because do you have what is your premiere, Paradise? I guess you might be wrong because you might be gone now because your premiere is starting, it's a very important thing. Seriously, what is this premiere stuff? Do you have an inside track on something? Did you get the exclusive access to something? Why don't we check out the Webby browser and we can see what is going on with Paradise and his premiere. Hold on a second here. I'll go ahead and look up Paradise Decay YouTube. Paradise Decay YouTube. Let's see what he is premiering. Let's see how incredible it might be. So here we are. We're switching over here to the Webby browser. And, okay, let's go ahead and let's go over to our Webby browser here. Whoops. Okay. So here we are. This is Paradise Decay's channel. He's balling large with 7,500 subs, balling on an extreme level. And he has a video called Oculus Quest, Potential Launch Titles and Gameplay. That was 3 months ago. I should actually watch this video myself because this is something that I'm working on right now for VR Game Rankings. I'm trying to figure out all the different Oculus Quest games that are coming up, the ones that have been officially locked in and confirmed, and then also rumored Oculus Quest games as well. I'm trying to get that ready over there on VRGameRankings.com. Right now it is a complete work in progress, but I should probably watch this video and see what he's talking about there. But so this is it. Scary shit, brah. Oh my God. He's got a bold, shocking title. Scary shit, bruh, in Kobold VR, Oculus Rift Plus Touch, and a whole lot of other stuff. That is premiering right now, so I might as well just freaking give it up and go home because there is a premiere. No, actually, the thing about these premieres is basically if you do a Let's Play, for example, and you want your Let's Play to launch at, say, for example, let's say I'm probably going to do a Let's Play today, actually, of the Wizards Enhanced Edition. It comes out tomorrow for PlayStation VR. I played it a little bit yesterday, but I'm going to go back in there and I'm going to try to do a Let's Play today. and I'll try to get it ready so that the Let's Play will post tomorrow at, say, like 1 p.m. Pacific time, right? Well, what I could do is, in YouTube, I can schedule it to start at 1 p.m., and then all of a sudden at 1 p.m., bam, it shows up and it's there. Or the other option is I can make a premiere and have it be a premiere at 1 p.m. And then what would happen is my little thumbnail image is there ahead of time. And so it's letting people know ahead of time that, hey, there's going to be this Let's Play at such and such time. But it's kind of funny how they name it premiere, like, oh, it's this really big deal. Like, everybody's going to be planning their day around the premiere of a little Let's Play video. You know, unless you've got, like, unless I'm premiering, like, Respawn's VR game. Like, let's say somehow I was really tight with Respawn, you know, the head people at Respawn Entertainment, and they're like, look, Anthony, we're gonna hook you up, bro. We're gonna let you play the Respawn game before anybody else. We're gonna give you the exclusive for like an hour, so you'll have it for like an hour before anybody else. We're gonna hook you up proper. Now that is a frickin' premiere, where if I'm like, Anthony plays the Respawn game, it is the first available experience of this. That is an effing premiere. And then you might have thousands of people, like 4,000 or 5,000 people waiting to see that. I'm not sure that Kobold is going to shock the internet, but it is a premiere. So Paradise does have that going live right now. He is premiering it right now in effect. All right, so let's go ahead and switch back over here to our standard scene and see what people are talking about. So let me go ahead and get my chat in the right window here, and let's just see what some people are talking about over here. Techno Glitch is back in the building. Banned in the USA, baby. He is banned in the USA. What is Techno Glitch doing here? Is he going to cause me to have another meltdown? That is questionable at best. We're just kidding. So Paradise is going to have to watch our show later because he is premiering Titanfall VR. And so he cannot stay around for this show. Kev Gretz says, happy Monday, everyone. Hussein X is checking in. Yeah, I thought early too. He's in the UK as well. Yeah, we're going to be early in the UK, baby. We're not banned in the UK. We're early in the UK. We Are VR is showing up. What is up? We Are VR. We got Rendered Reality in the building. Main Fan is also here. And Main Fan says, YouTube allows timed video premieres where the creator talks in chat during it. Yeah, you can do that. You don't have to do that, but you can do that. Kevgret says it's just a way to count down when a new video gets posted. Yeah, it's actually a great idea. It's better than just scheduling a video, because if you just schedule a video, it doesn't show up anywhere. Nobody sees the thumbnail image. Nobody is aware of it ahead of time, and then bam, it just hits, and then it's available, and then people get notified about it. But yeah, if you got a Let's Play that's going to launch tomorrow afternoon, and you want to have that thumbnail image out there so people see it, yeah, do premiere. So I'll probably be doing that with all of my Let's Plays that are like finished way in advance. I'm absolutely going to be doing premieres, but I don't think it's something that anybody should like, oh my God, Anthony has a premiere Let's Play for the Wizards Enhanced Edition. I can't go to that birthday party. I can't go out to dinner with my friends because Anthony has a premiere, and that is more important. I'm going to be there for that premiere. T-Dub is in the building. Sprint Vector should come to Quest. That is Wizard 101. Yeah, Sprint Vector. Well, a lot of games should come to the Quest. We might actually talk a little bit about games that are coming to the Quest a little bit later in today's show, if time allows for that. VR Spry Guy says, Anthony, you need to do a Let's Play of Attack of the Bugs. Well, there's been a number of people that have wanted me to do various Let's Plays. Like, I know MameFan really wants me to do that Face the Fears with the spider thing. And Techno Glitch just posted a Let's Play of Shadow Legends VR. So he's joined the rest of us, the thousands of us that have Let's Plays out there for that. Rendered Reality says, PD was having some issues with his premiere only playing in 360p. So he talked about redoing it late. Well, that's the other thing, is when your video first comes on, like I've noticed this when I first post a video, like you might have to wait 45 minutes before you can get like the 1080p version and all of that. Space says, I noticed Ant is not subbed to PD. Well, I don't know if this is my actual account over there. So, MainFez says, Anthony, did you fight Shadow Legends' last boss? No. I'm actually out. Here's what's happened with Shadow Legend. I can give you guys a quick update. I'm still playing Shadow Legend. And Rendered Reality says, I'm spreading the word about Anthony premiering the new Respawn game. Yeah, that's going to be awesome when everybody gets pissed because it's all a lie. So here's where I'm at in Shadow Legend VR. So basically, Shadow Legend VR, the final Let's Play that I have up there, the most recent Let's Play I have of it, I just got to this incredible castle, this winter wonderland scene that looks absolutely drop dead gorgeous. I mean, it's basically the Walt Disney, you know, it's like the Disney World castle, right? That is back there. And it's overcast, but it looks like it is just going to start pouring rain like you would not believe. Like a major downfall of rain is about to come in. And then you've got little snowflakes that are flowing around. You've also got these very irritating eyeballs that are flying around. That is exactly where I am. If you guys saw that Let's Play, if you saw the very end of that Let's Play, that's where I'm in. And then, so I know I'm very close to the gate, the end, because that's Ataroth Castle, right? So I get into Ataroth Castle, and then I fight Ataroth, and then that's the end of the game, right? That's probably what happens there. Okay, so was it yesterday or was it the day before? I decided, well, I should finish Shadow Legend. I'm practically at the end. Let me finish it, and then I can say, oh my God, I finished another game. Hip, hip, hooray. And I went into Shadow Legend, and for some reason, it didn't have any of my save games. I lost all my save games, and so I had to start over a brand new game of Shadow Legends. So I'm actually starting a brand new game over. Not sure, but I can, since I know everything, I've done everything in Shadow Legends, it shouldn't take me, Shadow Legend. Why do I keep saying Shadow Legends? It's gonna take me a while. I mean, it won't take me that long to get to the final boss because I've done everything and I've already done it. And then MainFan says, Anthony is not going to like the final boss. I don't know if he's persistent enough. Yeah, sometimes we get these final bosses that are just endless marathon of like, oh my God, you got to keep replenishing your shields. You got to go over here and do this. You got to go do that. And it's like a 45-minute thing where it's like an endurance run. Like, I'm not a fan of endurance run bosses. I don't like those kinds of bosses. So yeah, this boss might irritate me, but I gotta finish the goddamn game. You know, every once in a while I have to finish a VR game. Yeah, VR Spry Guy says, wait, hold the phone. Anthony is going to finish a VR game. I've actually finished a handful of VR games. For example, Heart of the Emberstone. Completely finished that game. I saw the end credits. Transference. I saw the end credits for that game. There's a lot of others. There's others as well. I have actually finished games. And then there's like a huge list of games where I'm like 90% of the way through. So I actually have finished a few games here or there. It just doesn't seem like it. Okay, well, why don't we go ahead and get into our first topic of the day. And let's go ahead and bounce back over to our Webby browser. And this is our boy Paradise. And Paradise is living large. But let's go over here to Tales of Glory. Okay, so Tales of Glory, this is a game that came out back on May 31st, 2017. It's been around for a minute. All right, the developer is Blacktail Games. And this one, I think this arrived prior to Skyrim. And we were kind of thinking, oh, dude, here's Skyrim, brah. We don't need Skyrim. We got Skyrim. It's Tales of Glory. And this game had a demo. I believe I tried the demo. I don't know if it's, I'm not seeing a demo now. Oh no, there's still a demo. It says download demo. Okay, I tried the demo for this game. I was mildly impressed with what I saw in the demo. But one of the things that have held me back from Tales of Glory has been this $30 price. Yeah, not exactly cheap. It's been going for 30 bucks and it has been solid, baby. It has stayed at that $30 price for a lengthy period of time. It is not, I don't know, has this game ever been on sale? Like, has anybody caught this for like 15 bucks on like a Steam sale? I don't know that it's ever ever had a major discount. The reviews are very positive. You know, that is good news. We got 167 reviews and they are very positive. Okay, so why am I talking about this? I'm talking about it because they released a brand new trailer. And I thought we could check out the brand new trailer, and maybe some of you guys in chat have played Tales of Glory. Maybe some of you guys own this game, and maybe you can give me the inside scoop on Tales of Glory. I've been kind of wondering about that, but I did think that we could go ahead and check out this trailer. So why don't we go ahead and go back over here to our standard scene here. And let me see, the trailer has a name. Okay, so this is called War of the Five trailer. It is Tales of Glory, War of the Five. So let me go ahead and grab this. Let's check this out and see what it is all about. Tales of Glory, War of the Five. All right, well, gee willikers, kind of looks like Game of Thrones VR. You know, this is basically Game of Thrones VR. Blacktail Games presents Game of Thrones VR. Basically, I mean, that's what we're looking at here. War of the Five campaign. So, I don't know. I think this trailer looks pretty good here. See, it starts off, it kind of shows you a map of these different locations, these little strongholds, these little tiny cities. You can go to Torberg. Everybody loves it in Torberg. It is beautiful there in the wintertime. But you know what, looking at that scene right there, that looks pretty cool. You've got some fine winches in the building as well. You know, you have a nice sword that you can peruse. You can go to Madasta. Summers there are absolutely gorgeous. And you can talk to the High Priestess, and you can try to sit on the throne, if you so dare. And then here is where a major battle takes place. Winter is coming. Winter is coming. You can ride a horse, and you can jack mofos up with your spear. You can attack. You know, this is a major battle taking place on a bridge here. That looks pretty cool. And I will say this, like, looking at all of this stuff, I didn't know that this game was as ambitious as it appears to be. I really like this scene right here. Look at the main guys basically being executed. Like, that's from Season 1, Spoilers. That is Season 1, Game of Thrones, Spoilers. And that is Tales of Glory, War of the Five. And does appear to be very ambitious. You know, certainly appears to be a very ambitious game. I kind of like this idea of being in a medieval world and, you know, kings and queens and knights and lords and having property and taxes and battles, and you have these other castles and these other kingdoms. You might have magical characters. You might have dragons and stuff like that. And this has been a very popular genre in VR. We're swimming in these games, especially just thinking of what I played recently, you know, playing Shadow Legend very recently. Yesterday, playing the Wizards Enhanced Edition. I'm going to play more of that later today, the PlayStation VR version. I'll be talking about that more extensively tomorrow. But man, do we have our share of medieval games. And it's awesome. I like it. I like this. I like the medieval time period. Do you guys remember the game? Do you guys remember Westworld, the movie? Now, I'm talking about the original Westworld movie, the old school one from the 70s. Because the old school Westworld movie from the 70s, when you go to Westworld, there's like these different time periods. Like you can go to, there's Westworld, you can go to Westworld, but there's also like the Roman world, and then there's like medieval world. So you got like Roman world, medieval world, you've got Westworld, and people were going there and like you could be like the king, or you could be a fine wench, or all these different things. And I think that's kind of cool. And I kind of want to be in one of these worlds. And I kind of want to be in one of these worlds, though, where you're not just going around fighting everybody, but where you also have to use diplomacy and strategy, and where maybe you have to overthrow your king and you've got to become king. Like maybe you're kind of like one of the generals, like you're one of your king's generals, but you feel like your king has gone insane, like he's just gone mad. So it's the mad king, right? And you've got to overthrow your king. You've got to take power. And then you've got to marry somebody that becomes queen. And then you've got these other wenches that are after your ass. And then you're also doing battle. Like, that would be an awesome game, right? Where you actually have, like, dialogue trees. And it's almost like a Telltale game or something like that. But you also have the action, and you have to go on explorations. You've got to go into the dark forest. I mean, that sounds like a bomb-ass game. And I'm looking at this right here, and it kind of seems like that's what they kind of tried to do with this game. I don't know how much like dialogue and interaction and all of that stuff is. But yeah, see, everybody thinks we're early. Nah, dude, this whole world is based around the US of A. The US of A. Think about it. Think about all you peeps that are in like Holland and Netherlands, and you're in all these different countries. What language do you know? You know your native language, but you also know English. Why do you know English? Because USA, man, we're running the world, brah. We are running the world. And so our time is the time that matters. And it is 11:43 a.m. And so the rest of the world better understand what's going on here. Okay, but anyway, that is, what is this game called again? Let's go back to our Webby browser. I do not remember what this game... Okay, Tales of Glory. There we go. Yeah, Tales of Glory. Looks pretty cool. There is a demo. I wonder if they've updated this demo. Like, does the demo feature any of this new stuff, or is it the same demo that it's always been? Because when I was in the demo, there was some promise for this game. There definitely was some promise for it. It does look interesting. It's an interesting world. It's an interesting take. And that is Tales of Glory. Looks pretty sweet. Okay, so what else can we get into on a slow news day? Well, we can go back over here. Actually, you know what? Why don't we cover the Oculus Daily Deal? This is something that we like to get into on a regular basis. And today's Daily Deal is Tvori. Tvori, okay? So this is 40% off. It is going for $11.99. Normal price is $20. And the ratings are pretty good, but we've only got 6 ratings. You've got 4 and a little over 4.5 stars, a little more than that, 4 3/4 stars. Pretty good ratings. We've got 12 hours. See, look, Oculus, you got to get your clocks right, bro. We're dealing with American time here. Oculus, you need to get your clocks right. I think their clocks might be an hour behind, too, with their daily deal. Their deal. Tvori is a VR storytelling and animation tool focused on making content creation in VR accessible, so you can test your ideas, create scenes, animate, and make characters come alive, all within VR using straightforward, intuitively designed tools. Okay, so Tvori is something I've heard about for a very long time. I think this thing has been around for a long time. Let's see, June 7th, 2018. It's been around for a minute here. and I've heard about it, but I've never really known what the heck this was. So I thought there might be some of you guys that don't really know what the hell this is. So why don't we go ahead and check out a trailer and see what it is. Let's go back over. Yeah, King Hell says, I'm going to be speaking Chinese soon. Yeah, you played a lot of Fallout 3, right? In Fallout 3, you realize that there's a major war between China and US. So you find all these Chinese things all over the USA. And so, yeah, I probably will be speaking Chinese pretty soon. Okay, so let's go ahead and pump up the volume on this Tales of Glory trailer. And then we're going to switch over to the Tvori trailer so we can find out what the hell is Tvori. Let's find out together. I'm going to pump this volume up and we're going to check it out. Okay, well that is Tvori. You know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Dreams by Media Molecule, you know? Like this is our version of Dreams, I guess you could say. Like you can make actual little scenes, animations. You know what would be super cool about this? So I was watching this and I was like, oh, you can make your own little like intro sequence animations. Of course, here's the problem with all of these super creative tools like this that they have out there. And we've seen Gravity Sketch, Tilt Brush, Quill, all these different little animation things, all these real, like, yeah, oh yeah, you could make that. It's only gonna take you 10 minutes. You can make that. It is so easy. And what they do is, like, this person right here that is doing this stuff is a freaking 10-year art major, like, that knows everything about art, everything about animation, and then they've been using this product for hundreds and hundreds of hours, so they know exactly how to do everything, and it makes it look so incredibly simple. And so you look at something like this and you're like, wow, even an idiot can do this. But what you don't realize is, yeah, an idiot can do this if that idiot spends about 200 hours learning all of the intricacies of it. But still, it's there for you, man. You can do this. Like what I was thinking when I was thinking about this is I was thinking, man, what a cool, I can make a cool ass intro where it goes through a forest and it like scales up, and then up on the mountainside you see this huge VR365 logo, you know, and so it would be like an intro, like a little 9-second intro sequence of VR365, and actually make it in a program like this. I wonder legally, like I wonder, can you make something like that? And then do you have the rights for it? Like, could I use that as my YouTube like intro sequence if I made it in Tvori? I don't know, because there's all kinds of little stipulations that usually come along with this. But that's what I immediately thought of. But then my second thought was, wait a minute, am I going to spend about 350 hours learning how to use this program effectively? Because you're not going to be able to do all the fancy stuff that these people are doing when you don't have any knowledge of what the hell you're doing. You've got to learn how to use this product. You've got to learn how it all works. But then eventually you can figure it out. Look at, they're like tilting, and then they're saying, okay, that's that frame. Now tilt it with this frame. Now tilt it with that frame. Now string it all together and it becomes a story. But I don't think they're showing you the hundreds of hours that you might have to spend to really do something like this. But it is cool. It's crazy cool, the kind of opportunities that we have to be creative. These kinds of things 10 years ago, there's no way you could have done something like this being just a regular person somewhere. You'd have to be part of a major animation studio to do anything like this. And it is pretty incredible that we have these capabilities at this point in time, where if you do want to spend the time, if you want to put in the dedication to this, you could do some miraculous stuff with this. You could do some really cool stuff. You know, so it does look pretty cool. Okay, but anyway, that is Tvori, and that is today's Oculus Daily Deal. It is over here. It is on sale. Normal price is $20, 40% off. It is going for $11.99. I also wanted to check out the Steam page for it. Over here on Steam, it is $20, so not on sale on Steam. It does have positive reviews here, 34 positive reviews. You know, they updated it a little while back. We significantly improved what was previously known as play area. So they've recently updated it, but yeah, it does look like a very cool idea. And there is absolutely some incredibly creative things that can be done with a lot of these VR tools. Absolutely. All right, so, but yeah, it is kind of like Dreams. Now, what we're hoping with in regards to Dreams, Phil Yarn says, give me Dreams instead. Well, what we're hoping with Dreams is that regular Joes, you know, regular Tom, Dick, and Harrys are going to be able to do some really cool stuff with Dreams, where this might take a little bit longer to learn, but it's probably very similar. Like the core concepts are probably very similar, but the hope is that we're going to be able to do cooler stuff in Dreams easier. But, you know, we'll have to see how that works itself out. Okay, what else did I want to get into today? Well, you know what? There was a game that I talked about recently, actually. It's called Icesolation or something like that. Is this it? No, that doesn't appear to be it. Okay, wait. Icesolation? Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, so I talked about this game. I think I mentioned this game actually on our most recent episode, which was on Saturday. And one thing I noticed is Happy Hobgoblin, they released the trailer. So they released an official trailer for this. And so part of it you're playing on VR, part of it you're playing on PC, and the trailer shows, you know, this is what the VR guy sees. This is what the PC-based guy sees. And I did grab this trailer. The brand new trailer is available. It just hit like a few hours ago. So why don't we go ahead and check the trailer out for Icesolation. This is coming up on March 15th, so it is coming later this week. I'm going to pump the volume on Tvori, and we're going to check out the official trailer for Icesolation. So let's go ahead and peep this out. If I can find it here. Icesolation launch trailer. All right, so that is Icesolation. Definitely looks pretty darn indie there. And Happy Hobgoblin, that is the developer of Icesolation. We can go back over here to the Steam page. And yeah, this is coming up on March 15th. I really hope that this is priced quite low so that it allows people to possibly jump in here without having to spend a lot of money and check it out. We'll have to see what happens. That is Icesolation. Okay, Main Fan, Minecart Simulator. Yeah, pretty much. The biggest problem that I have with this game is it looks like most of the game for the VR guy is going to be in these caves. So it's the same environments over and over again, very dark, pushing minecarts, trying to hook up little electrical transformers to get them working, you know, holding matches out, you know, your lighter, pushing minecarts. I mean, it kind of seems like it's boring. The PC part of it actually makes it seem a little bit better, but that's kind of what the PC player gets out of there. Okay, so Main Fan in chat is reporting that the Witching Tower VR is on sale, and I checked it out, and yes, he speaketh the truth. So the Witching Tower VR, it is 50% off. Actually, let me say that again. I don't know what I just said right there. But the Witching Tower VR, it is 50% off. It is going for $10. Normal price is $10. Developer of this game is Daily Magic Productions. This one came out last October, a little bit right before Halloween. This is a weird game. This is actually a very weird game from the standpoint that when I was going through this game, there are certain parts of the game that really feel like AA, like very AA. I'm not going to say AAA, you know, but some of it feels very AA. And then there's other parts that feel very indie, like really, really indie. And so it's weird because like I couldn't really wrap my head, like I want to go into these different games and I want to feel like I have a real good feel for them. And sometimes there's games where it's like, I don't know what to say about this game. There's good parts, there's bad parts. But for a 10 spot, not bad. You know, this is 50% off. I did have some performance problems with this game initially. I know they've patched a lot of the performance issues. I haven't gone back into it in quite some time. But it has like some voice work. It has some production value that is really impressive in certain parts. And then other parts it seems kind of indie. But definitely worth checking out at $10. Not necessarily a bad deal. That is the Witching Tower VR. Okay, so what did we want to get into now? Yeah, so our Gambo is saying there's 61 people watching. There's 8 people that like this. We can do better than that, folks, can't we? We can do better than that. I'm not saying this is a great episode because it's probably not that great of an episode. I mean, I'm talking about freaking Icesolation and Tales of Glory and Tvori. Those have been the main stories of today's show. Not exactly tremendous heat right there, but we do have some other stuff that we can get into, guys. So one thing I did want to get into is Tactical Haptics, okay? So Tactical Haptics has been in the news a little bit, and part of the reason that this has been in the news is they are coming to GDC. They're going to be there in the North Hall. They have a meeting room, not a booth. They have a meeting room in the North Hall, and they're going to be giving demonstrations of Tactical Haptics, their impressive controllers that they have, which does add some tactics and some interesting situations into the mix. And I thought this is something we can maybe take a quick look at today on today's show because we don't got a lot of else popping off. So why don't we take a quick look at this? And what I did was I grabbed a couple quick video clips of this that we can check out and then talk about it. So why don't we go back over here to our standard scene. And the first video clip that I'm going to go to is a very short clip of Ben Lang from Road to VR talking to the Tactical Haptics people. And this was like over a year ago. I think it was January 2018 that this clip is from. But let's go ahead and check this out. It's very short. It's only like a minute. And we'll kind of get an idea of what is going on here. So let's go ahead and check this clip. Okay, well, that was Ben Lang from Road to VR. He was talking to one of the haptics guys. Rendered Reality is reporting that he's not getting any audio. I don't know. It's showing perfectly fine audio here, so not sure what the deal is with that. But yeah, so this is the very interesting looking controller that they have there at Tactical Haptics. And he talked about how they have a number of plates that are in there and they move around and they give you these sensations of force. He talks about sticking the sword into an enemy, and then when you pull the sword out, you get a little bit, like you feel a little bit of that. And this is a cool thing. It is absolutely a cool thing. I'm going to throw a different little video on where it's just a little montage basically of like somebody doing a Tactical Haptics demo. But we'll just have this on here in the background. So here's an Oculus Rift guy, and you can see they have the Oculus Touch. They have the Oculus Touch controllers actually connected to the Tactical Haptics, the controllers themselves. So the Oculus Touch controllers are connected to them, and then you have the Tactical Haptics controllers. And I gotta say, man, it's a really big. Like, these are big, large devices. And my problem with this, like, when I think about tactical haptics, or, I mean, not tactical haptics, but when I think about haptics in general for VR, it is an exciting possibility. We want to feel VR. We absolutely do, because we're in VR, we see everything. We can interact with things. We can use a trigger to, like, pick something up and drop something. But we don't actually feel anything that's in VR, and we would love to have a feeling of it. The problem is, how is this going to work? Because like if these controllers were to really come out, I have no idea how much these things are going to cost, but looking at them, they look like you're paying at least $299 for a pair of these things. $300, and that's just a wild guess on my part. These might be like $500 to get a pair of them. I have no idea what the cost is for these. And how do you, like, is somebody going to buy these to use it in like 1 or 2 games? See, it's a chicken and egg scenario. You know, it's the classic chicken and egg scenario. We really need to have a platform holder come out with a new VR system. The controllers that come out with it would actually have some type of haptics built into the controllers themselves, because I don't think something like this is going to work. I mean, sure, it'll work. You make a game here or there that utilizes this, and then you're, you know, if you're in Shadow Legend VR, like I talked about this, I was playing Shadow Legend VR, and I think I talked about this in one of my Let's Plays actually, picking up every little gold coin that's everywhere, picking up the jewels and the diamonds and the rubies and sapphires and all this stuff that is littered around the world of Shadow Legend VR. And I thought, well, you know, when you pick up the coin, like you hit your little trigger button, you pick up the coin, you hear a little coin noise, and that's the extent of it. But what if you actually, what you really need though, see, again, these are these big controllers that look like they're staple guns. They basically look like staple guns or nail guns or something, and they're these huge monstrosities. I think maybe what we should go to instead is some type of glove, because I feel like if I had gloves and then I'm picking up this coin and I'm using these 2 fingers and my thumb to pick up that coin, which is what I would use in real life. I'd use, you know, these 2 fingers and my thumb to pick up the coin, and then to have some like haptic feedback where it's like I feel like I'm holding something. I feel like I have something with some weight in it, and it feels the shape, the rough shape of that gold coin. I think that would be really cool. But how are we going to do this and make this viable where somebody could bring out a product like this and they could sell enough of them where developers would care? It's kind of the situation that we're in with all of these gadgets that are out there. Unless they can make the gadget automatically work with a whole bunch of different games. Like, for example, we got the 3D rudder, we got cyber shoes, we've got all these different things that people are coming out with. And one of the things that they've been able to do with some of these products, like 3D rudder or cyber shoes, is they kind of fake it. So like if the game doesn't specifically support it, they can still kind of make it work. I don't know how you do this with haptics though. Like how would you how do you make this work with Skyrim or Fallout 4 VR, or is it impossible to make it work with those games? And then if it's impossible to make it work with those games, then you have to have like a couple of key games that are designed to work with this, that are kind of like the killer apps that will sell these devices. It's interesting. It's super interesting. And like if I'm at GDC and if I could wait in this line, and it's not like a 3-hour line or something, if I could somehow try these, I don't know if you have to like set up an appointment in advance. I'd like to try it. Not so much that I think this is a viable product that any of us are going to be using in the next 2 or 3 years, because I don't think it will be. But what I think is, I would like to try it personally, purely from the standpoint to see how good is this stuff? What am I really feeling? Like, what is this really going to bring to the table? If I did have these huge monstrosities of these controllers, and I also attached my Oculus Touch to each of these controllers and made it some kind of Frankensteinian thing that they've created, it looks like something straight out of freaking Transformers. It looks like I need to give those back to Optimus Prime as soon as I'm done. I need to give them back. But basically, what is the deal here is kind of like what I'm trying to figure out. Like, how far is haptics away? Is haptics like 7-8 years away? Is it 5 years away? Is it 3 years away? Is it 20 years away? And I don't know the answer to that question, but maybe if I got a demo of this, I would have a little bit better of an answer. But I'd also like to see somebody's gloves and see what they're doing with gloves as well. But that is Tactical Haptics, and it is going to be at GDC. There is going to be a booth there. Kevgret says, man, do they look heavy. Let's see what some of these other people are saying about this. R. Gambo says, staple guns. Like, full room VR isn't destructive enough. I mean, that's what they remind me of, staple guns. I actually, do you guys see this fabric that's fabric that's on the walls there, right? And underneath that fabric is, I had this special acoustical material. Like when I created this little room here, it's kind of like a media home theater style room is really what it is. And it used to be a 3-car garage. And when I created this room, I was really into acoustics. I wanted it to sound like a freaking Dolby Labs. You know, I wanted it to sound like George Lucas's private theater, and it doesn't sound anywhere near that, but I was trying to get as close as possible. And I used this acoustical material, and then I used a fabric that covered it, and I had a staple gun. I had one of these pneumatic staple guns where it's like, you know, and it's powered or whatever, and you connect it to something, and it's like bam, 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 bam. And that's exactly what these things look like. They straight up look like staple guns. And I guess you can combine them together. Like, he's combining them together to make this like blowtorch and get the sensations of a blowtorch. It's cool. It's super cool. And I'm sure that there are very specific games that would really be revolutionized by this. And I believe what Tactical Haptics, like if we go back over to their website, let's go back over to their website. I believe that their initial plans are for location-based entertainment. Like, they're not really planning on selling these to individual people, I don't believe. I believe it is designed more. Let me click on this, well, more info. I guess you got to click on this here, because I would like to check this out, but they're going to have a meeting room, not a booth. And so if it's a meeting room, you might have to schedule an exact appointment to get in there. But products, yeah, they're creating both devices and software. So this is the Reactive Grip Motion Controller. So this is their current deal that they have right now. So they've kind of streamlined it. They've made it a lot smaller. I think it looks a little bit smaller than the other thing. Like, you know, here's an example of what it looks like here. This is a blue version. And then they're also creating software to go along with it. See, that's the classic chicken and egg scenario. They're creating like these incredible bow, you know, firing bow and arrow and stuff, and they make it feel really real with the haptics. And that would be awesome. But I think, you know, the cost and everything of this, I think we're looking at location-based entertainment centers is where these things are going to go to first. You know, I think that's where these things need to live initially. See, I think that was, yeah, this is the initial redesign. So they started off with that big Terminator Transformer style version there, and then they've gotten it quite a bit smaller there. They've kind of stripped it out of all the different stuff that they feel like it doesn't really absolutely need. And see, so they have a gamepad configuration where it kind of combines into each other, a machine gun configuration, and then these are the forces, the torque illusions are created by actuating the sliding contractor plates in response to the user's hand motions. Great idea. I wish all these people nothing but the best success. I just feel like these kinds of things are just so far away from our daily reality as VR gamers that I almost don't even want to bother with them, because it's just another thing that I'm going to be drooling over and salivating for. Like a game like Boneworks. Imagine how awesome something like this would be with Boneworks. Now, of course, Valve does have their Knuckles controllers, and their Knuckles controllers do some interesting things. They don't have this kind of haptics in them, and nobody has this kind of haptics in them, because a controller, like if Sony, PlayStation VR 2, if they're like, hey, let's do this, let's put this in the new version of the moves that are going to be featured in PlayStation VR 2. Well, each controller would be like $199 each. And that's just not viable. So I think this is more of a long-term thing. Having said that, I think it would be cool to try this and get some hands-on time with it and get a feel for it. That is Tactical Haptics. So I might look into trying this out if possible. I might actually look into this, but it's going to depend, because I don't really want to set up like special appointments with a lot of places, because I don't know what the lines are going to look like at all these different things. And I know there's going to be certain things I want to wait in line for, and then you just don't know. Like, you could have an appointment at 3 p.m. to go see something in this booth or this hotel that's down the street in this suite at 3 p.m., but then you're in a line at 1 p.m. to try Stormland, and the line is like a 4-hour line or something, and so you get into these conflicts. That's why I don't really know that I want to set up a bunch of appointments. I might just kind of freestyle it, is what I think I'm going to do. But that is Tactical Haptics. Okay, so now I am out of all of my information that I have. This is basically what I had. Oh, well, let's see what some people are talking about in chat, though, before we move off of this. Kevgret says, man, they do look heavy. Crunchy says, and the B Haptics kit that uses audio if the game doesn't support them. Yeah, see, audio haptics is not a joke. It is some real stuff, especially combined with light. Damn it, I just banged my microphone here. But you combine the audio with like little visual feedback as well. Like as soon as your fingers are touching something, they kind of light up, and then you have that audio. I do believe that does help. Paolo Triani says, imagine having all these things. It would take hours to get ready for a VR game season. I think he means session. Yeah, that's kind of what Gary talks about. Gary has always talked about the friction of VR. He feels like you practically have to suit up for VR. And in some ways, you kind of have to do that. Crunchy says, okay, they're talking about my green screen. Yeah, this is a green screen. It's not real. Okay, guys, want to see an awesome green screen effect? Here's some toilet paper. And you might wonder, why do I have toilet paper right next to me? I use this when I have a runny nose or something. I don't like Kleenex. I just use toilet paper. But check out that wall right there. See that door? Watch this awesome green screen effect. This is super awesome. I'm going to do a live green screen effect that is just incredible, because we're streaming this live, yet it's going to have an optical illusion. Look at that. Wow, that is incredible. Did you guys see that? What an incredible optical illusion. Okay, let's see. Martino Movie says, we can use them for weightlifting VR. Why don't we have weightlifting VR right now? Like, there should be weightlifting VR right now. Where is MainFan when you need him? And MainFan is actually in chat. But somebody should create a weightlifting thing. Okay, here's one of the questions that I have, and I've been asking this for a while. I always thought that was padding. Anthony lives in a padded room. Yeah, it's almost there for the way it works. But so here's the thing. Do you guys remember way back in the days when Valve was doing these special conferences for all these other outside companies to come in to figure out how to do Steam tracking for with like the lighthouse and for the sensors and all of that. Like, didn't everybody think that once they had all these sessions where they had all these companies come in, that we would be showered with nonstop products that would have Steam VR tracking? We'd have coffee cups with Steam VR tracking. We'd have keyboards with Steam VR tracking. We'd have a VR chair with Steam VR. Like, where's all these products that would have Steam VR sensors all over them? We haven't seen that. That has never happened. But like, how hard would it be to have a weight, okay, a 10-pound dumbbell, just your standard 10-pound dumbbell or a 15-pound dumbbell, just your standard dumbbell that has Steam tracking on it. And then you're in a room, kind of like that dance instructor game that we saw, but you're in a room with a weightlifting trainer, and he's like, okay, I want you to do this. You're just going to do your standard curls. Okay, now let me see your form. Okay, your form, you're kind of bouncing too much. Don't bounce, like come down, hold it a second, bring it back up. Okay, now let's do this move. Okay, now let's do this move. You know, like, why don't they have a game that walks you through weightlifting where it teaches you proper form? It analyzes how many sets you're doing. It like knows how much you weigh and how tall you are. And like, why do we not have that? That just seems so bizarro world to me. I mean, this is 3 years later, guys. We've had VR for 3 years. We've had these Steam tracking things for 3 years. And we don't have dumbbells that have tracking on it and an awesome weightlifting program? Because I would actually use that program, because I'm not a weightlifting expert. I'm doing a little bit of weightlifting here and there just to try to like do a little bit. But I would appreciate a program like that. It would help me, I think, in a major way. The toilet paper is fake. It's all fake. Well, you know what? You're not so far from the truth, Crunchy. I think everything is fake. Like everything. Quite literally. But that is a story for another day. Okay, so we went through the Tactical Haptics thing. What we could do now, guys, is we could bounce over to some of the websites that we like to peruse, or purview, or whatever you want to say here. And so let's bounce over to Road to VR. Let's give it a brand new refresh. And so here's Tactical Haptics, actually. Let me take a look at this story, because this story was actually done today. So this is actually a timely thing right here. We're expecting hands-on time with a lot of new VR headsets at GDC 2019 next week. I really hope so. How awesome would that be? But Tactical Haptics will be offering a look at its latest design for VR controllers too. So yeah, they are going to have a meeting room that people can. So you know, not much in this story. That's pretty much it. Something about this reminds me of like Home Depot or something. I don't know if it's the orange, but something about this. It's like a staple gun from Home Depot, basically. Like you could walk into Home Depot with this thing, and they'd be like, "Hey, you're not supposed to walk out of the store with those. Those are our Home Depot staple guns, brought to you by." What are those products that they have that are at Home Depot, and they have the different battery packs, and they have like drills and all kinds of different things? They're all made by the same company. That's what this reminds me of. I guess it's the orange looking style of it, I guess, is what it is. But yeah, I live in the Matrix. So that is Upload VR. And so GDC 2019, 6 VR AR talks you won't want to miss. GDC 2019 is almost upon us. Yeah, that's what we're going to get a hell of a lot of this week, folks, is a whole lot of GDC is almost here. This is going to happen, and that is going to happen. Let's see what they're talking about, though, as far as the best talks that they think people might get into. Digging for Fire. Virtual Reality Gaming 2019 with Adam Orth. Okay, so Adam Orth, actually what he should do a talk on is how to get a job and leave it within 5 months. That's what his talk should be about, because he is an absolute expert at that. This guy jumps on this company for 5 months, then he jumps on that company for 5 months. Where is this guy now? That's my question. But Adam Orth should have a special guide on how to get a job and lose it within 5 months, or move on to a new company before they even know your last name. That should be Adam Orth's talk. Okay, Embracing Chaos, Designing for Emergent Gameplay in VR with Alchemy Labs. This is actually probably a pretty good talk right here, because you know what? It must be incredibly difficult for developers designing VR games, because one of the things that I always hear every time I do a Let's Play, I'm doing a Let's Play of some VR game, right? And the developer, okay, the Rigid brand tools. Yeah, I guess that's what they are. But is it Rigid brand? That doesn't sound right. It's like IOBI or ICOBI or something like that, isn't it? I can't think of it, but I know it's Home Depot, and I know they have these battery packs, and the battery packs snap on the bottom of the drills and all of that. Kind of reminds me of that. But anyway, one of the things I was talking about is when I do a Let's Play for a game and the actual developer like might check out my Let's Play because they like gave me a key and they want to see like, am I talking about their game in a positive way? You know, what am I doing here? So sometimes they'll check out my Let's Play and they'll watch a little bit of it. And they're always amazed by, I couldn't believe that you did this or you did that. Nobody else has ever done this. Nobody else has ever walked over to the refrigerator and tried to open it. You're the only one that walked over to the refrigerator and tried to open it. But that's the thing about VR, man. It's different from regular flat gaming because you can approach things in any possible scenario. You can pick this thing up and put it down. You pick something up and you throw it over there. And then you realize that an hour later, oh shit, I needed that thing that I just thrown over there. There's, oh yeah, Ryobi. Okay, Ryobi. But that's what it reminds me of. Okay, so Ryobi is a green thing. Okay, and Rigid is orange and black. Okay, but it kind of reminds me of Ryobi. That's what I was thinking of. But it's got to be crazy hard to design a VR game, because how many times have you guys been in a VR game where you're searching around forever to figure out how to get to the next part of the game, and then ultimately all you had to do was trigger something, and then that trigger unlocked the next part of the game. But because you were wandering over there in the forest, and then you wandered over here, and then you wandered over there, like you might have barely walked past the thing that you were supposed to trigger, that like 85% of everybody triggers that thing right away, but you were in that 15% minority that walked right by it. You didn't happen to see it. You weren't happen to pay attention. And now for like an hour and 45 minutes, you're walking all around the VR world like, dude, I'm stuck. What's going on here? And then you realize, oh, all it was this switch that you were supposed to activate at the very beginning, but you didn't realize it. And that's emergent gameplay. Like, they can't account for that. They don't know where you're going to be at what given time. It must be incredibly hard. And that's why they say embrace the chaos. You've got to embrace it, because otherwise your game isn't going to work right and you're going to be stuck. So embrace the chaos. This would be one thing I would like to go to, kind of. Okay, Galactic Lessons in Mixed Reality Storytelling with ILM X Lab. Project Porgy. Yeah, it would be kind of cool just to see what they talk about in terms of like Magic Leap and HoloLens and, you know, the whole AR thing and designing in mixed reality. That would be kind of interesting. Making of Astrobot Rescue Mission. Reinventing platformers for VR with Sony Japan. That would be a really cool one to go into. That actually would be really cool. Developer Day Keynote. Platform Strategy for 2019 with HTC Vive. Down the Rabbit Hole with Oculus Quest with Oculus. That would probably be a good one to go to. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good talks that are going to be at GDC. I'm not going to be there on day one. See, I'm actually going to be arriving on Tuesday. So some of that stuff might be day one, and that's the only day they do it or whatever. So I'm going to miss out on that. But let's bounce over to Road to VR, see what's going on over here. Let me give a quick little refresh to this. ViveX startup Mindesk secures $900K to create VR multi-user design software. Apple Air headset could rely on iPhone for rendering and connectivity. Yeah, we heard about that. Look at this crazy thing right here. Now that is a crazy picture right there. You want to talk about I'm living in the Matrix? We're all living in the Matrix. Look at this. A Valve psychologist to explore brain-computer interface research at GDC. This is something that Valve is effing around with here. a brain-computer interface. Like, they're getting really deep into the weeds. And speaking of the Matrix, it's right here in this story. Like the virtual reality system envisioned in the Matrix, the ultimate form of BCI would be some sort of direct neural input-output interface where the brain can directly talk to a computer and the computer can directly talk back with no abstract input-output needed. How crazy would that shit be? And who's the first person that's going to sign up to test that? They're basically going to have to take psychopath killers that are on death row and say, look, bro, you're on death row anyway, so do you want to hop into the Matrix? Like, might as well, bro. I mean, you're scheduled to die in another month anyway. Hop into the Matrix. You can check out the girl in the red dress. How awesome would that be right before we're about to pull the plug on your ass? That's how they're going to have to test this shit out. Brain-computer interface. Like, who's going to sign up to test for that? You know, Jay Pace, we had Jay Pace. He's often in chat, and we had him on. He was a guest on one of our episodes, and he was talking about he's willing to try that out. He's willing to sign up for that. I am not. It's just like LASIK surgery. Like, I'm not going to be getting LASIK done in the first 5 years that LASIK is available. I'll wait until they've been doing it for 20 years. Then that's when I'll sign up. So I'm probably going to miss out on the whole brain-computer interface because I'm not going to be willing to sign up for this until they've like perfected it. You know, 20 years later, that's going to be me. Okay, so these are some of the stories. Let's see. Have we been going for an hour? Well, yes, we have, ladies and gentlemen. We have been going for an hour. See how amazing it is? See how easily you can do a shit show so fast? Okay, so let's go into, let's grab our little background logo. And yeah, so the show is done, guys. Apologies, but this entire week, if you are in the UK or if you're in other countries that don't recognize daylight savings time, like what we have going on here in America, the great land of America, that is where I am located. I am in California, the greatest state in the great land of America, certified. The West Coast is the best coast. And here on the West Coast, it is March 11th, and right now I'm looking at the clock. It says 12:29 p.m. 12:29 p.m. And I've been going for well over an hour now. But this entire week, we're going to be starting early. So it's basically going to be an hour early. But the good news is most of these shows will probably be like 11:20 or 11:30. So it's only going to seem like a half an hour early. So it won't be so bad. But basically, I'm done. I'm out of here, folks. I'm back in the building, but I am out. I will, of course, be back on Tuesday, March 12th, and tomorrow is the arrival of The Wizards Enhanced Edition on PlayStation VR. And also, if you have The Wizards on the HTC Vive or Oculus Rift, if you have it on the Oculus Rift or Windows Mixed Reality, it's getting a major update over there as well, guys. So they're really updating the Wizards. You might want to jump back in it if you haven't been in the Wizards in a long, long time. And I hope to do a Let's Play later today that will premiere tomorrow. So make sure to plan your entire day around my premiere. Plan your dinner around it and all of that. You know, you want to be here for the premiere of my Let's Play of the Wizards Enhanced Edition on PlayStation VR. So you got that to look forward to tomorrow, my thoughts on the Wizards and all those sorts of things. But I'm out of here. I will see everybody tomorrow around 11 a.m.-ish Pacific Standard Time. And I'll see you guys then. Have a good one. Take it easy. Later.